November, and I still haven't gotten tired of my Oogie Boogie Moon, so it's one of my favorite games. It's called, what is it called? Emoji Blitz. Alright, Emoji Blitz. It's one of my favorite games, don't remember what it's called. It's called Emoji Blitz. It's with Disney characters, so that's cool. Sorry if the lighting really sucks in here, but the lighting really sucks in here, so there isn't really much I could do about it.
New Star Wars Blade Builders. The Force is calling to you. Which side will you choose? Connect to the light side with Blue Jedi mode and lead the rebellion. Or activate Red Sith mode and give in to the dark side. The power to unlock the Force is in your hands. Which side will you choose? New Star Wars Path of the Force lightsaber, Jedi or Sith, works with the entire Blade Builders system, sold separately. Batteries not included.
That was such a great commercial. Now we listen, we watch the commercial, and then we get a free spin on the prize wheel, which I always get 300 coins, so if I don't get 300 coins, I'll be lucky. Oh look, 3 gems! It's better than 300 coins, but still, it's a booby prize. Okay. So, we have some challenges that we're working on right now. So I completed that one, and now I'm trying to complete this one. I only have one combo to go, so I'm going to try to get it with Alien. I have to combine a cloud and another cloud to complete this daily mission here. Look, we have a mini skirt. Not as in it's small, but as in it belongs to mini. Oh, look right there. Right there. Spend the rest of the time just enjoying ourselves. And that is complete. We already got our mini skirt. What is that? Try to complete the hard challenge because I don't have any of those emojis. Sad story, I had practically all the emojis at one point, and then I deleted the app to reinstall it, and it didn't save any of my information, even though it's supposed to, because I logged in with my Facebook, and supposedly when you log in with your Facebook, it saves all your information, but that was a lie. And I lost everything, and I tried to contact the company, but they're Disney, and they don't give a crap about me and my little problems with their one single random app. They have other things more important going on, like the build As we defeat him, we're going to get different chests, and if we get all the way to 20, then we get to actually own a Kylo Ren, which will be cool. It's so hard to complete these challenges. You literally have to play on a regular basis several times a day, every single day, which is a lot for a phone game. I think it's a lot to ask out of a phone game. Man, I don't want to ask a lot of you. It's just a phone game. Last time we got 526. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be hard. Blitz mode 18 times. That's overtime. Use 12 stars during Blitz mode. I should probably pay attention to that if I want that to be accomplished. Okay. Let's go. I should probably change my... Twitch. No. Go away. We have 131 followers. Yay. Okay, I need to change the title on this. How do I do that? Can I do that? Anyone know how to change the title of your stream from the Twitch app? That does not do that. Create a clip, share. None of this is helpful. Okay. Well, I guess I can't change the title. So, guys will just have to accept the fact that the title is wrong right now. And there's nothing I can do about it. cool. Now our window went away. Super awesome. Let's see if it will come back. A ton more of them to fight. It's gone. Okay. Alrighty, last game 347. Yeah, this is gonna, that top one's gonna be really hard to do. Where am I going on me? Yeah. Stand on either. That's why it's weird. Where is it coming from? For how much work we had to put into it right there. And now we have to do 15. Man. They make you work hard in this game. It is not easy. Okay. I always move ones at random with my other thumb while I'm practicing, just to keep my pace going. I've tried to hard. Like, as you can see, if I had 15 games like that one, I'd have to play 15 times before I beat this Kylo Ren, and there's 20 total that I have to beat just to get to the grand prize, the medium grand prize, and they only give you like 5 lives every hour, so you really gotta be on top of your stuff in this game, or spend money. Great things. Make it easy enough that it is possible if you wanted to devote all day long to the game. But if you don't want to spend all day long playing a game on your phone, that's a simple puzzle game, then you need to do that. I usually do. Should. Doug is so we could catch some items, and he's literally caught nothing. Way to go, Doug. I'm just gonna laugh at this. Okay, let's try not to suck horribly this time. That was so stupid. All we did that round was just get a bunch of money. Oh, shit, I dug up. Before in a row. Trapped forever. There was just not that many lightsabers at that time. Okay. Bam. 10. Oh, we got another light. Okay, ready, go. Go, Doug, go. You're supposed to be a dog. Retrieve things and give us lightsabers. That is not super helpful because he just gives me lots of money and doesn't actually get rid of emojis for me. Damn. Okay. Now, in order to play again, we have to watch
New
another
baby
commercial.
alive snacking noodles. Oh yeah, I can make my baby lots
What
of
the heck?
noodles. That was a lot of noodle. New baby alive snacking noodle.
They totally
Each
had that
sold
kind
separately.
of doll when I was a kid. Now they're bringing it back, and it eats Play-Doh. That's interesting. 3 lives for watching a baby poop. Okay. Mike Wazowski. They should all make no delays. Let's go. Doug's not good at collecting items. He's terrible at it. He's not meant to do it. They made us have this stupid mission on purpose. They knew it would be infuriating. Doug is not meant to do anything. Be an adoring dog. Not a very good retriever. He's distracted. out of lives. Let's spin the wheel. Go, wheel, go. If we get lives, we can keep playing. If we don't get lives, we have to stop playing. I told you I always use 300 coins. It's useless. Do we have enough money to buy a silver box? Oh, but I want to save up for a golden box. If I get a golden box, then I can get these guys. They're lucky. Yeah, I'm just gonna get a silver box because I am lazy. I don't feel like waiting. Pluto! I got another Pluto. Oh my god, that's the worst. That's literally the worst, is to get the same one that you already have of the silver box. I don't want to level up my silver ones. They do nothing for me. I want the other ones that are already locked. Come on. Not a double super powered Pluto. Maybe if I already had all of them, I'd want a double super powered Pluto. And it doesn't even give him to the next level. It only gets him halfway to the next level. Does that even do anything? That's frustrating. It took me so long to save up those coins too. Oh look, we have another life. We still have to play with Doug. He needs to collect 18 items. Alright, let's go. This game, I love this game. It's so frustrating. Hey, Canine Master, what's up? Got paid less? This game is so gypped. At least the next one's a silver one. My gosh. What are you doing to me, Disney? Okay. I think we're done for now. Oh, we have to wait 7 minutes for our next life? Yeah, right. Okay. So we're done with that game for now. Let's move on to the next game. We've been playing Pokemon Duel, but I want to start another game. I should organize all my games so they're all in one place. Let's play this game, Weirdwood Manor. I have not played this game before. Don't worry, I'm coming back. Okay. Alright, let's see how this game is. Well, hello there, and welcome to the incredible tales of Weirdwood Manor. You'll play games, solve puzzles, and use your imagination to advance the story. If you pay close attention and explore every inch, you might discover hidden secrets. And these secrets to Oliver's journal, as you just never know when they'll come in handy. Now turn up your volume. Once you can hear the music, you'll be just about ready to begin. Can you guys hear the music? When book 1 is downloaded, you may start reading. Chapter 1. Strange things happened. Oh, it didn't even give me a chance to read. All play, no work. In association with CMFFMC. CFC. Proudly presents The Incredible Tales of Weirdwood Manor. The line between reality and imagination is sometimes blurred. Sleeping? Does he know there's a fairy above him?
Bump. All of his eyes snapped open. He let out a yelp as he fell from the air and bounced back onto the plush, blue leather seat beneath him.
By the way, let me know if you guys can hear that well. Should I move this out of the way? But anyway. I hope that volume is loud for you guys, because I think that's as loud as it goes. But let me know. No worries. Welcome, Kay. Okay.
He blinked groggily and looked around as the car jostled and bucked its way down an old forest road. He breathed out slowly in trying to let his shoulders relax. He must have dozed off again. He shivered involuntarily as he remembered the dark creatures that had plagued his brief and restless sleep. Another nightmare. Why couldn't he ever have a normal dream like a normal kid? He snorted, then shook his head. Normal, as if.
Yes, it is normal. You can hear everything, that's good.
He peered out the window to see ferns and moss and ancient-looking trees roll by. He smiled. They must be getting close. This was definitely the kind of place that a person like Arthur Weirdwood would want to live. It looked like something straight out of a novel, with elves and orcs and dragons. Oliver pushed that thought away, instead busying his mind with the excitement of what was to come.
What is to come? Looks like something is hiding behind the curtains. Tap the curtain. You befriended a findling. This expert secret hunter will help you uncover Weirdwood's deepest mysteries. Okay.
He still had trouble believing he had actually won.
What did you win? He has very blue eyes. Hey! I think the findling is trying to get your attention. Press and hold the findling. Oops. Just gonna put me here now. The findling seems to think there's something to find right here. Tap where the sparkles land. You found the remembrance rune! Through the lens of time. View in journal. Oliver's journal is ready to be filled with notes and drawings of all the amazing secrets he has yet to discover. Don't forget to keep an eye out for creatures and curiosities that cross Oliver's path. Touch them to add them to the journal. The Eathling Mystery? I don't know how this is possible. Arthur wrote about Eadlings. My Eadlings. He couldn't have possibly seen my sketches, yet this is way too much of a coincidence. They are exactly the same. Exactly. Maybe I'm not crazy. Maybe my visions are of actual real creatures in some other dimension. Or I don't know, but just maybe there's someone who does. The rune wheel from Arrow of the Skykin, the key to unlocking the great mystery. Picture your remembrance through the lens of time. Interesting. People, Mr. Shaw, David, and Mary Brown. This kid is good at drawing. Findling. Creatures, all goats, Swapsy, Brontagast, Quasar, Gru, and Chizard, and the dragon. So this is the new one, the Findling. Okay. Findling. It's hard to tell if it's just another one of my creepy waking dreams, or if this tiny moth-winged human is actually real, or could it be that this is one of the findlings that are said to live in this old weird wood? Sister Therese used to tell me stories of these curious creatures who would befriend adventurers, knights, and explorers. They could be mischief and curious to a fault, but mostly they would help their human friends to uncover cool secrets, magical wonders, or even hidden treasures. Ha! If only I was that lucky. She probably is just another figment of my crazy imagination. But then again, maybe not. Okay, there we go. So that's the Findling.
There had been thousands of contestants, each a talented artist or writer or young inventor. A few of them had even been somewhat famous, child prodigies who were constantly being interviewed on talk shows or news programs. But Oliver was a nobody, and all he'd had to enter in the contest were a few pencil sketches of imaginary creatures. And yet, somehow, that had been enough. Now here he was, one of 3 grand prize winners, being escorted to Weirdwood Manor, where he'd get to spend an entire week with the great Arthur Weirdwood.
You found Arthur Weirdwood, the Da Vinci of our day, inventor, writer, artist. He does it all. Arthur Weirdwood, the Leonardo da Vinci of our day, inventor, writer, artist. He does it all. His work made him one of the most famous men in the world, and yet nobody seems to know anything about him. He lives by himself in the middle of this strange old forest and rarely ever makes contact with the outside world. Until now. This is blank. So Arthur Weirdwood's the one who drew these drawings and they came true? Okay, interesting. We'll find out later.
He smiled and settled back into the big blue leather seat. This was the first time Oliver had ever been in a limousine. He'd never forget how this long, shiny monstrosity of a car rolled up to the curb in the small subdivision he'd called home. Oliver had been so excited that he'd almost forgotten his backpack as he rushed out the door to meet the limo. He'd look back with a big smile to say goodbye and thank you to his latest foster parents, Mary and David Brown, but had just turned in time to see the door slam shut and hear the deadbolt slide into place.
That's kind of creepy, so just locked him in.
He had tried hard to ignore the sting in his eyes and the heat that painted his cheeks their familiar red. He'd thought he would be used to it by now. The rejection, the suspicion, the fear. But every time something like this happened, it just seemed to make that part of him hurt all the more.
Wow, this kid's got some deep issues.
The driver had glanced at Oliver with an awkward smile, but then cleared his throat and with an air of professional detachment, ushered him into the most incredible backseat he had ever seen.
Oh, was that the parents then who
He'd thought he would be...
rejected him?
He had tried hard. He'd look back with a big smile to say goodbye and thank you to his latest foster parents, Mary and David Brown.
Parents just shut
He had
the
tried
door.
hard to ignore the sting in his eye.
Well, that's
He thought
sad.
he would be used to it by now. The rejection. The driver had glanced at
Parents
Oliver
are
with an
rejecting
awkward
you.
smile, but then
That's sad.
Oliver's amazement had quickly pushed away any thoughts of his last foster fiasco.
Foster
He had
fiasco.
laughed as he settled into the plush leather seat, taking in the dark curtains, the blue couches, and the ornate rug.
Well, seems like maybe he's going somewhere better. Hopefully.
This was an almost perfect replica of the magical limo in Arthur Weirdwood's story, The Seven Sons of Midnight. Even the puzzle-lock box where Lord Lucius kept his direst secrets was set into the side panel.
Lord Lucius. So, he knows this guy from his books that he wrote. Okay. Interesting.
When he had sat down, the seat back behind his ears had given a soft exhalation, like the car was breathing.
That's weird.
He had pressed his ear to the warm leather and heard a slow thud lump like a heartbeat. Again, exactly like the book. It gave Oliver the willies. Boom. The limo bounced Oliver into the air once more. He barely caught his backpack and sketchbook before they had a chance to crash to the floor.
What's that limo trying to do?
The corner of a loose paper peeked out from behind the front cover. Oliver frowned as he pulled it free. He had read it at least 20 times already, yet some small part of him clung to the hope that maybe he'd gotten it wrong, that maybe there was some error or loophole or something that could assure him that this was all just some big misunderstanding. Before he realized it, his eyes were scanning the fateful letter once more. Dear Oliver, we regret to inform you that David and Mary Brown have requested your immediate removal from their protective custody. This
What?
being your 6th foster home transfer in the past year, we have exhausted all current options for home-based foster care and must unfortunately remand you to the temporary custody of the Juvenile Corrections Authority. Your caseworker will fill you in on details upon your return from Weirdwood Manor. Hope you have a wonderful week. Sincerely, Mara Buxley, Ministry of Children's Services.
Oh, that sucks. So, whenever he gets back from this Weirdwood place, he has to go to juvenile correction? You guys, that sucks. I have to eat candy. Eat candy right now. The story, I just want some candy. I'll be right back. Candy. Oh, sorry. I kind of got distracted and haven't been looking at the chat. I should bring the chat back up onto the screen. There we go. Oops. Let's see what I missed. You were worried? Nope. No, nothing to worry. I don't reply quickly to responses on pretty much anything. So, don't worry. There are ways that you can change the title for me. You have to be a super moderator in your stream elements or an editor on your dashboard. I have no idea how to do those things. I've been before for a few streams, but it's honestly neat can make someone because they have access to the dashboard or stream can do serious work. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to do those things, how to make someone an editor or a super moderator. But you can send me a message in Twitter or something how to do that. And I probably won't be able to do it right now, but later or something. Trying to like press on things and see if I can find it easily. Nope, so probably have to do that later. Anyway, I found some candy. Just one piece, so I might have to get more later, but that's a sucky letter, man.
Oliver's cheeks flushed yet again. It was the same story, time after time. Of course, there was always some well-thought-out official reason for moving him, but the true reason was always the same. Cursed. That was the word whispered or muttered when nobody thought he could hear. Oliver hated it, but he supposed he understood it. Strange things happened around him. Scary things. Things no one could seem to explain. Not my fault, whispered Oliver, even though everything inside him screamed that the opposite was true. He had tried so hard with the Browns. He'd kept his room spotless, helped out with meals, and done more than his fair share of chores. And yet, he'd gotten lazy, went a bit too far with just one drawing, and he winced, pushing the unpleasant memories aside. Mary and David had been his last chance. No one else seemed willing to take him in, and so he was to be shipped off to some horrible prison for kids.
That sucks.
He gritted his teeth. It just wasn't fair. Without realizing it, Oliver had whipped out his pen and began to draw on the back of the page. His anger and frustration poured out of the furiously scribbling pen, etching seemingly random shapes and forms into the empty space.
Touch the little orbs of light and all these pens will take to flight. Looks like a dragon. Oh, that was fast. So by drawing the dragon, we unleashed it? That sucks. It does not seem like a friendly dragon. Okay, well, no worries. Either way, I'm gonna have to suffer with this weird title for today until my husband gives me my keyboard back. Apple.
Oliver blinked, then looked down at what his hands had almost unconsciously drawn. He shivered. From an artistic standpoint, the drawing was incredible. Lithe muscles, dark scales, leathery wings, and wicked curved talons were rendered in expert detail. In fact, it was probably one of the best dragons Oliver had ever drawn. What worried him was that he'd once again drawn this dragon. He needed to put the drawing away before... Oliver felt a rush of dark energy hurtle toward him from somewhere deep within the drawing. He slammed the cover of the sketchbook closed on the letter and held it down to keep its trembling pages shut. He began to feel lightheaded and heard the familiar ghostly whispers closing in around him. Darkness tugged at him from inside the sketchbook, making his stomach churn and his muscles grow weak. It's getting worse, he thought. But the feeling slowly subsided and the sketchbook grew still. Oliver let out a deep sigh of relief. Bump!
Oh no!
The limousine launched into the air over another pothole, and then it didn't come down again. Oliver hovered a few inches above his seat. The smell of old books and hot lightning filled his senses as an eerie blue glow drenched the world around him.
What's going on, dude?
He heard the deep thump of the limousine's heartbeat, slow as a glacier. Thud. Not again, not now, whispered Oliver as gravity slowly began to tug him back toward his seat. Lump.
This happened before?
Flash. A dark blur streaked past the window with a sound like scraping metal and flapping sails. Oliver tensed.
That looked like a dragon.
Thud. A deep, rumbling growl rattled the windows. Oliver felt the hair on his neck stand on end. He rubbed his eyes and tried to slow his breathing. No, this is not real. It's just a dream, and I'm going to wake up any second now. He wondered vaguely if he was trying to convince himself or the big, hulking thing outside. Lump. The growling stopped. Oliver held his breath. Thud. Lump. Just the throbbing heartbeat of the limo. Oliver took a deep breath. He couldn't be sure, but it seemed like the world was slowly turning back to normal. Well, he said with a sigh, that could have been worse. An ear-shattering roar broke the silence. Teeth and claws squealed against the metal and glass of the limo's exterior.
Uh-oh, he's about to be eaten by a dragon.
Oliver threw himself against the opposite side of the car, spinning to face his attacker. Their eyes met, and Oliver cried out in surprise and terror. No, not you!
Who's you? Oliver and Arthur. Ah!
The dragon, more real than any drawing, more solid than any dream, bore its teeth in a hungry grin. It breathed on the limo with a deep, throaty growl.
That's scary.
The window, the door, the curtains, everything began to dissolve as if it were nothing more than a fog or mist.
The dragon can make things go away?
Oliver pushed himself hard against the opposite door. His heart pounded and his palms were slick with sweat. First the nightmares, then the drawings, and that strange energy. And now this! He'd seen many strange things over the past few years, but nothing had ever been this real. The dragon pushed closer. A hungry, predatory smile framed rows of razor-sharp teeth. You're not real, Oliver stammered, but the dragon only grew more and more solid. He could feel the dark energy surround him, pressing in on him with such force he could barely breathe. Oliver fought it, pushed against it with all his might, but it was too strong. His insides twisted as the power slipped and pulsed through his body, pulling his mind down into a deep darkness. He screamed, but all he could hear was the roar of the black dragon. Boom! Oliver smacked his head against the door of the limousine as it hit another pothole. He winced and pushed himself up, his muscles weak and shaky.
So, was it a dream?
He blinked a few times and shook the lingering confusion from his mind. The haze was gone. The limo was solid. No dragons. He let out a deep, steadying sigh. Everything was back to normal.
That sucks, so whatever he draws becomes his nightmare.
The limousine
Don't
slowed
draw
and
things,
came to a
too.
rattling stop in the middle of a thick patch of ancient trees. The haunting call of some unseen bird wafted in on the fresh forest air.
Ooh, there's another dude. You found a leaf-winged spriggan. Not unlike a fineling, but more insect-like and nasty. Oh, it's not good. Could this be one of the Weirdwood Forest's infamous spriggans? It looks kind of similar to my little fineling, but more insect-like and nasty. The townspeople who live just outside the forest say that this place is positively infested with spriggans of all different shapes and sizes. It's one of the biggest reasons they stay as far away as they can from here. Apparently, spriggans are like the opposite of a fineling, preferring to play tricks on humans rather than helping them out. I wonder if they had anything to do with those crazy bumps along the road. Interesting.
Oliver looked around, confused. Was this it? Where was the manor?
I don't know.
His backpack had been knocked over, and his clothes and books were strewn all over the floor.
Gotta pick that up.
He scrambled to shove everything back into his bag when the door clicked and swung open with a sigh. A long, stiff arm and a long, stiff sleeve held the door open for him. Oliver took a last quick look around the limo, then zipped up his backpack. The long, stiff sleeve was attached to a long, stiff suit, the owner of which said, "Welcome to Weirdwood Manor, Master Oliver."
Hello, Dark Lord of Destruction. Welcome.
As he stepped outside, he noticed that something had fallen to the ground. Oliver bit his lip as he bent down to pick it up. It was the drawing, but it had changed.
His drawing is different.
The dragon was different now, covering the entire page and glaring at him with that terrifying, hungry look.
That's scary.
A cold shiver ran up Oliver's back as he snatched it up and crammed it back into his sketchbook.
Hey, that's a gold thing. Find me the secrets. Did I wait too long? He's not finding me any secrets. Dang it. Oh wait, there we go. Find me the secret. Oh, you found a lost toy. With gears and pistons, could this be one of Arthur's lost toys? What does that mean? Let's see. Found this little critter scampering around the drawing of the Meryl's letter, as if it was trying to find something on the page. I thought it was a real beetle at first until I saw the little gears and pistons inside its shell, sort of like an old brass wind-up toy, but way more intricate. Weirdwood's lost toys. As if Weirdwood Forest did not have enough mystery and legend surrounding it already, reports of strange clockwork animals lurking through the forest and surrounding area appeared to have some weight to them after all. It's like a wind-up toy of sorts, said Murray Bumstead, a farmer, Alfwyn County, which borders the forest. He waves towards a cage in which a fox made of brass and polished wood looks up at me and blinks its clear marble eyes. I would bet my eye teeth it's one of that crazy Weirdwood feller's creations, lost or set loose on us normal folk, for some nefarious purpose, no doubt. Okay, interesting. So we found a toy. Stream's going pretty good. How, you're just hanging out? How are you doing? Doing well? This is like a book/game, so we're kind of going through with this kid Oliver, and he's been invited to some weird manor, so we're trying to see what mysteries lie about this manor.
He looked up at the face smiling at him from above the collar of the stiff black suit and gasped.
Chapter 2.
I trust you had a pleasant journey, said a deep, metallic voice.
Oh, that's cool. There's like a robot dude.
Oliver squinted up at the imposing figure looming over him. He was tall, well-dressed, and built completely of metal. One mechanical eyebrow whirred up. Oliver realized he was staring and stammered a reply.
That's pretty cool. Alright, what do you have to show me, little fairy? Something over here in the tree? Ip, you found a ghost raven. Pupilless white eyes and feathers made of shadow. Ooh, that is creepy. Its feathers look see-through like shadows in midair. It was strange. I could see the ravens just a few meters away, and yet I felt like they were somewhere else entirely. Somewhere cold and dead. Ghost raven, nature spectral, noted in Enslam Desarbier. With pupilless white eyes and feathers seemingly made of shadow, the aptly named ghost raven haunts only the most ancient of forests, a favored companion of the legendary mage warrior Ansel's Gorgalost. These great birds were instrumental in bringing about the victory of Schwarzwald against the goblin lords in the Vosges Mountains. Okay. You had something else to show me, didn't you? This dude. You found Tinsworth. Some people say he's just a man in a metal suit. Tinsworth, the metal man of Weirdwood Manor. I guess he's not a legend after all. He's huge too, easily over 7 feet tall. Some people say he's just a man in a metal suit, but I don't see how anyone could fit in there and make it move like he moves, quickly and precisely. But I don't think he's just a robot either. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something very human about him still. Interesting.
Yes, it was fine. He forced a watery smile. Very good, sir, said the metal man in a clipped, disinterested manner. If you require anything, my name is Tinsworth. I am Master Weirdwood's butler, and your servant for the duration of your stay. May I take your bags? Oliver could hear the purr of well-oiled motors as Tinsworth reached out an enormous steel hand.
Why doesn't he move his mouth?
He had heard of the Metal Man of Weirdwood Manor, but had assumed it was just another one of those crazy legends about this mysterious mansion. He looked closely at the gears and pistons that made up Tinsworth's hand. Apparently, some legends were true. Master Oliver, said the butler patiently. Sorry, he had to stop staring. I've only got the one bag. I'll hold on to it, if that's all right with you. As you wish. If you will follow me, sir. Tinsworth turned in one smooth, mechanical motion and walked toward a steep, winding stairway that looked very old and not at all safe.
Not at all safe. That's funny.
An ornate archway bowed over the top of the first stair, guarded by 4 weather-beaten gargoyles, one of which had toppled from its perch and lay forlornly in the grass.
Oh, are you trying to show me something again, fairy? Okay, what's this? Whoa, you found the locumulator. Some say it has the ability to form gates from one place to another. I don't really want to read the journal for every single thing, so I'll just skip that for now. Return the fallen one to home, for he was never meant to roam. Okay, let's just put him back up there. Oh wait, what? What'd you say? Touch the gargoyles, they will turn until their resting place. You learn. The winged look forward, but underneath angry heads show each other their teeth. Okay. That seems to be like what you said, right? There should be angry heads looking forward, and the winged looking forward. So are we done? I don't know. Is it supposed to do something when we're done? Like, tell us that we're done? Don't worry, you can come back and continue later. That sounds like I didn't do it right. So those ones are shining. Stuck, the Findling is here to help you. I'm confused. Oh, they show each other their teeth? Okay. So they're supposed to look at each other. Got it. Like that. Ooh. Am I supposed to be able to read this? What is this? Oliver's journal is ready to be filled with notes and drawings. Don't forget to keep an eye out for creatures and curiosities. Okay, but what is this? I guess we'll just have to know later. This is under the tab called Mysteries. Okay. Well, that was interesting.
An ornate archway bowed over the top of the first stair, guarded by 4 weather-beaten gargoyles.
What's that? No, what's that? I know I found the locomotive, but what's that thing underneath it? Oh, that's just his head. Okay. I didn't realize that was his head. Okay, let's go.
They climbed the steep, narrow stairs, winding around trunks of giant trees and bizarre rock formations. Tinsworth didn't speak, which was fine by Oliver, who was entranced by the strange beauty that surrounded him.
You know
He
that
hoped he'd
language,
have time
Kate?
to come back and do some sketching.
That's cool.
After a few minutes, the air grew brisk and had a fresh, somewhat salty smell to it. Oliver caught a faint but insistent sound, like the roar and crash of distant waves. I must warn you, sir, Tinsworth called back to him. This next section can be a bit tricky.
Section.
Oliver
Oh.
gasped as they rounded the corner. The stairs ahead had been carved out of the side of a cliff that plunged steeply down to crashing waves far below.
What? I would not want to have to climb up that to get to a house. It's a terrible idea.
Sunlight sparkled on an expanse of water that stretched as far as the eye could see. Oliver hesitated. Tinsworth looked back. I assure you, the steps are completely safe, young master. Is that the ocean? Oliver stammered. Tinsworth tilted his head with what appeared to be a thoughtful expression on his metal face. In a manner of speaking, yes.
How can the answer to "is that the ocean" be yes, in a manner of speaking? What else could it be if it's not the ocean precisely? Robot dude.
He turned, and without another word, continued his ascent up the steep, stony stairs.
This is not safe at all for children.
Oliver swallowed hard and carefully made his way after the butler. But we should be nowhere near the ocean, he thought. Weirdwood Forest is smack dab in the middle of... The wall next to him erupted as a huge slab of rock shot out across the staircase.
Another puzzle. You unearthed an arcane ward, a powerful ward against harmful magics or magical entities. Oh, we might want to know what that is. Powerful ward against harmful magics. It was created by who cares, and comforting to know Arthur is keeping us all safe with his magical technology from the Dark Ages on a slippery staircase hundreds of feet in the air. Then there's a symbol for magic and a symbol for shelter, and we don't know what the other symbol means. Okay. Well, that doesn't help keep him very safe if that wall just suddenly erupts. Maybe it's trying to keep him out.
Oliver jumped back, stumbling down a few steps before finally regaining his balance. He flattened himself against the wall and stared down at the raging waves hundreds of feet below. Strange, said Tinsworth from the other side of the slab. Master Oliver, are you all right? I think so, Oliver called back in a shaky voice.
If I was that robot guy, I wouldn't be trusting Oliver right now. Strange kid comes to my house and sets off my magical wards, my magical wardings. That kid is not to be trusted.
I do apologize. That mechanism is meant to protect the manor and her guests from, well, let's just say that I cannot imagine why it would be triggered now. He paused. One moment, sir. Oliver heard a grinding and clacking sound in the wall beside him. There we are. In a moment, you should see a panel on your right containing a basic elemental locus mechanism. Unlocking it should be fairly straightforward. A small panel slid back to reveal a series of polished stones carved with strange symbols.
Don't let this puzzle make you frown. 2 runes go up and 2 go down. Thanks. Okay, 2 go up and 2 go down. Nope. Cool.
The stone slab rumbled as it slid back into the cliff wall. Tinsworth looked down at Oliver with his emotionless glass eyes. I do apologize, Master Oliver. Hardly a welcoming moment. Oliver's legs still trembled slightly, but he let go of his handhold on the wall and gave Tinsworth what he hoped looked like a confident smile.
Not a creepy one.
No problem. Stone slabs trying to knock people off cliffs. This sort of thing happens all the time. He chuckled at his little joke. Tinsworth looked unamused. Indeed. Shall we continue, sir? He turned, continuing up the stairs once again without waiting for a response. Oliver's chuckle turned into an embarrassed throat clear. He grabbed the side of the wall again and fell in behind Tinsworth. He supposed he shouldn't have been surprised that a man made of metal would have such a lousy sense of humor.
Well, to be fair, your joke wasn't that funny.
After a few more minutes of slow, careful climbing, the manor itself came into view.
What? Things like on top of like a tall rock? That is not sturdy.
The tall, regal mansion sat perched on the edge of a pillar of rock that seemed to think the law of gravity was merely a suggestion. All of his stomach fluttered with excitement. This was it. He was finally here.
Should be
Tinsworth
afraid.
looked back. Again, welcome to Weirdwood Manor, sir.
Book 1. Dangerous Drawings. You've made it through Book 1. Each book is filled with secrets and challenges. Let's see how you did. 45% of the secrets discovered. 75% of the challenges completed. You missed a few secrets and challenges in this book. Read it again to find them. Book 2. Things are starting to get interesting. After a brief tour of the manor, Oliver makes some new friends with remarkable talents of their own, and they all finally meet the mysterious host. It looks like it's gonna cost some money, but it's letting me download it. $25% off. Buy now and save. We get book 2 for free. Oh look, our lives are refilled. We can go back to Blitz while this downloads. Hank releases an extra ink. Okay, so we still have to collect 18 items with Doug. It's 30 if you have magic. That makes sense. The house can stay up because they have magic. Alright, we get a free spin.
Hungry, hungry. New baby
Oh, we have to
alive
watch this
snack and
commercial
noodles. When she's hungry, I can make my baby lots of noodles.
How does it suck it up? Does it actually like have a sucking device inside?
Yummy in my
Must,
tummy.
right?
Diaper time. That was a lot
Does the
of
baby
noodles.
actually talk and say diaper time?
New
I feel like
baby
no
alive
baby
snack
says
and
that.
noodles. Each sold separately.
Okay. Nope, I'm a PCRN. What's a PCRN? I'm streaming on a PC right now. Okay. Let's continue to use 12 stars during Blitz mode, like 18 times with Doug. That's clearing 650 emojis. That's gonna take forever. Hold up, Corinne. Are you using PCRN? I don't know what that means. Oh, like right now? Yeah, I'm using PC. I'm not good at abbreviations. Sorry. Yes, I'm using PC to stream, but my phone is where these games are located. So I'm just mirroring my phone to using Apple mirroring. Let's do iOS. One. Did that even do anything? I see. Narrate. Screen reader, no. Voice. No. Oh. Cool. I figured it out. Okay. Now I can edit it. Alright. What should we call this? Just like mobile games? This is very slow to type with. Streaming. Okay, I changed it. I don't know what to put the game as. I just put it as games and demos because they don't have this game, Disney Blitz, on there. So, I already checked it and you're allowed to stream it. Because it wasn't in the list of games you're not allowed to stream. Which are mostly just games with nudity. Like too much nudity. Okay. Keep yawning. Go get some more candy. I actually want some cookies. That's why I really need them. I wish my husband would show up with a plate of cookies and help me. because I don't think many people stream mobile games. But a lot of people are going to start streaming mobile games because they're starting to put a big emphasis on high quality mobile games out there. So it's going to become bigger, and then they're going to be forced to have to create more of a seamless process for mobile games. But right now, what I know of that is listed on Twitch is Lineage 2 Revolution. Doug, just hurry up and get your mission accomplished so I can stop playing with you. I have to get 4 more items with this dog. Okay. Bam, bam. Take that. 4 more items with Doug. Takes forever. What else are we trying to do? And use stars during Blitz. Like, Doug's going to use stars. Dog. Oh, there's a star right there. 2 stars! 3 stars! Wow. Looks like the game's trying to make fun of me, but all it's doing is helping me, so we'll just accept that. Fix the sound. It should be better now. That was the most frustrating thing ever. Hate you, Doug. This is why I hate Doug. He's useless. He's the worst character ever. All he does is help you get more coins, which I can get with any other character anyway. But he does not help you get rid of any emojis. He does not help you reach any goal. He's a piece of crap yellow dog. And I hate him. Hate him and his stupid squirrels. Freaking hate this dog. Okay. I didn't even want this dog. I just got him by default for making friends on Facebook. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm supposed to touch the balloons. Okay. Okay. Come on, dog. Please get more items so I can be done playing with you and your wretched stupidness. I really hate these missions that force you to use a certain character. They always force you to use a character that sucks. One more! I have to play with this dog one more time. I'm so angry at this dog. It's wasting my life. Okay. It's our last life. It's wasted on Doug. Better get at least one freaking lightsaber this time, Doug. Or I'm seriously gonna put you up at the pound. With your stupid smiling dog face. Ah, shoot, I should have saved that star for the Blitz, but I forgot. I feel like the sound is really off right now. It's a little bit off. Yay, we got 2 lightsabers. We can be done with Doug forever. Is it Blitz mode? Okay, use that star. Oh no! 2 more that we missed. I blame Doug. It's always his fault. Yay, finally done with him. That took forever. That took more than 18 games because he didn't even get 1 item every game. I actually don't know how many games it took, but it felt like forever. Give me a different mission. That was stupid. Use an emoji's power 5 times in 1 game? Are you kidding me? That like never happens. What is this, level 500? It's only level 11. What are you doing to me? Okay. Well, we're done for now anyway, because we're out of lives. Let's go back to the Weirdwood Manor. Oh no, did I affect the download by changing? Thank you for the host. I'm sorry my alerts are not showing up. Thanks, Avo Savage, for the host. Okay. There we go. Let's make it smaller again. Excuse me. I'm adjusting you. You need to go smaller. Thanks, Savage. There we go. That's how we had it earlier. It's almost done downloading. I guess we have to have it open for it to download. That's annoying. I thought computers were supposed to be designed to do things in the background, but I guess Apple isn't that fancy. It's almost done. Okay. Chapter 3. Ooh, fancy.
The enormous front doors groaned as they swung open to reveal the manor's main entryway.
We have lots of secrets to discover. What's this? You see a ghastly girl, and now you look like you've seen a ghost. Oh, thank you so much for the cheers. Thanks for the 50 bits. Look at that face. You're making my Kermit the Frog go crazy. Almost as soon as I entered the manor, I met a ghost. It was definitely strange, but a lot less scary than I would have expected. Her name was Little Alex. She was actually really nice and was super excited that I could see and hear her so well. Apparently, I'm the first fleshy she's talked to in a long while. Anyway, I promised to help her out. Her best friend, another ghost named Aviv Gerstakatse, has gone missing. She's apparently pretty big and hard to miss in general, so Alex is starting to worry that Aviv's gotten herself into some sort of trouble. Apparently, there's a whole bunch of ghosts here in the manor. They're probably my best bet to find out where Aviv's gone. Alright then. Cool, so there's a ghost girl. Very nice. Any other secrets, or is that it? Oh, we can do a 360 turn? How? Pinch to zoom, swipe to pan. Okay. Cool. This is a fancy looking place. They have a nice big library. These chairs look comfortable. I'd like to sit in them and read a book and drink some hot chocolate. That looks like it could be a secret passageway. There's a cool door to lead somewhere. There's lots and lots and lots of doors. And then we just have one big ceiling. So that's interesting. So the upstairs is just like a hall. But I bet the doors lead to bigger rooms. Cool. Fancy. Okay. Now what? What do we do now?
Oliver stepped inside, and then he stopped, and he stared. He had heard stories about Weirdwood Manor, about its grandeur, its curious architecture, and its sheer immensity. But nothing could have prepared him for this. Oliver heard a delighted squeal.
Who's that?
As a thin, bookish woman in a bright floral dress swept him up in a tight hug that smelled of cinnamon and oranges.
Who is this lady?
He hadn't had much experience in hugs. Certainly
Really?
the stiff-armed goodnights from his previous foster parents hadn't counted. But this hug was close and warm. It made him uncomfortable. He blushed, not sure if he should hug her back or squirm away.
Yeah, who is this lady hugging him?
Before he could do either, the hug ended. The woman stepped back and looked him up and down with an approving smile. Oliver Griffin, our artiste, she giggled, grabbing his hand in hers. It's so nice to finally meet you.
Well, she seems nice.
I could tell that Arthur was quite impressed with your entry, what with the way he went on about you. I can't wait to see your work. Oliver shook her hand politely. It's nice to meet you too, Miss... Oh, how rude of me. Here I am chattering away like a chummy old chipmunk, and I haven't even introduced myself. You can call me Miss Brimley, or Matilda if you like.
She's like way older than him though. I still want cookies and milk. Hey, Savage, you should go on my husband's stream. Oh wait, he just texted me. What are you up to? Go on his stream and tell him I am streaming and he should bring me cookies and milk.
Some of my students even call me Mad Hilda. But that's another story. She chuckled.
That's funny. Okay, I'm going to text my husband back. Tell him, bring me cookies. Bring me cookies. I don't think I'll be very successful, but...
Officially, I'm here with the Ministry of Education, making sure you children learn something valuable during your stay.
Okay.
She glanced around the room with mock suspicion, then leaned in. Unofficially, however, I'm going to do my darndest to make sure you kids have the most amazing time of your lives. She winked at him and smiled.
Well, that's good. She wants them to have fun. What's that on her neck? Could that be the amulet of Moonin? Since when do teachers wear ancient Norse relics? I don't know. What is it? Enchanted relic. According to legend, Odin had a series of enchanted raven amulets carried from the world tree Yggdrasil. He gave these to his daughters, the Valkyries, so that they may fight with wisdom and intelligence. Today, the amulets are extremely rare, most having been destroyed. In the second something, it is said that only a woman of a Valkyr bloodline is able to wear the amulet without it destroying itself and the wearer. Wow, so she must have a Valkyr bloodline. Valkyr, yeah. Strange, for a brief moment it seemed as if the little raven was glaring at me, but looking closer I noticed that this little pendant doesn't have any eyes. Wonder where Miss B got it. It doesn't seem to fit the whole flowery librarian thing she's got going on. Well, you'll just have to learn new things about her, won't you?
Tinsworth cleared his throat impatiently, a hollow, grating sound that set all of his teeth on edge.
Blech.
Ms. Brimley's eyes darted up at Tinsworth with just a hint of annoyance, then back to Oliver with an excited smile. Well, let's not waste any more time lily-picking about, she said, standing up. We've got an exciting day ahead of us. They followed Tinsworth through a large cavernous hallway, the purr of his motors echoing softly across the vaulted ceiling and marble floor. Well, They followed Tinsworth through a large cavernous hallway, the purr of his...
One Spriggan dances, then another. Tap the first, then the other. This puzzle's putting a challenge to my brain. Oh my god. Who's that at the background? Dear fellow seeker, congratulations on finding this note. I wrapped 13 different Spriggan glamours around it in hopes that only the most persistent and insightful explorer might be able to unlock it. My name is Maeve Scott McGinn. I am a PhD, Face Studies in Miskatonic U, an explorer, and so I am told one of the world's most preeminent experts in Sprigganology. Weirdwood Manor has been my primary place of research these years. full as it is with so many strange and delightful varieties of Spriggan. I have left notes scattered around the manor that should help you in your own search and understanding these wonderful little creatures. Happy hunting, Maeve Scott McGuinn. Alright.
Motors echoing softly across the vaulted ceiling and marble floor. This place is just magical, isn't it? Said Miss Brimley in a wistful voice. Oliver nodded. He'd never seen anything like it before. Not in books or on TV, and definitely not in real life. But there was more to it than that. There was something about this place he couldn't quite put his finger on. A feeling that buzzed at the edge of his senses.
Well, she's taller than him because he's like 10 or something.
He supposed Miss Brimley's magical was as good a description as any. They passed through a doorway and into a room full of books, paintings, and elegant wooden cases displaying collections of strange and curious items.
You found a curiosity cabinet. Spiders, skulls, and severed hands. Curious indeed. The cabinet. So many incredible treasures are in one place. Maybe some of these old books can tell me what they are and where they're from. Okay.
Oliver glimpsed a familiar shape out of the corner of his eye and stopped. "No way!" he whispered, taking a step toward a small winged creature in one of the display cases. He glanced back at Tinsworth and Miss Brimley, who were already passing into the next room, and seemed to not have noticed he had fallen behind. He hesitated for a brief moment, then made his way quickly over to the display case. "No way!" Oliver said again, shaking his head in disbelief. Standing on the small pedestal before him was a detailed and incredibly accurate recreation of a creature he had known for many years.
That's cool looking.
The soft fur, the gold-tinged feathers, the tiny teeth, and even the playful smile in its eyes were perfect. This was one of Oliver's Eadlings. He had been just 5 years old when he'd first seen one of these tiny feathered dragons. He'd called them Eadlings after the eerie calls they made, a keening that sounded like they were crying, "Ead, Ead, Ead."
Ead. Yeah.
They had been the first and most frequent of the many dreamlike visitors he had seen over the years. He liked them. They were playful, mischievous, and really quite intelligent.
Wait, go on about the thing when you said I was smart. I have been streaming for, I don't know, how do you know? Does it tell you? 2 hours and 8 minutes. Are you gonna hang out with me? Is it 10 already? Okay. Well, I do need some cookies. Why did you say I'm smart? Tell me more about that. Yeah, I'm streaming mobile, and my friend Kay told me about this on-screen keyboard thing. So now I have a keyboard and a phone. Okay, well, let me just get to like 2 more pages and then we can hang out.
But, more importantly, they were proof that his strange visions were more than just hallucinations. 2 years ago, Arthur Weirdwood released a book called Arrow of the Skykin. It was an incredible adventure, full of floating islands, dastardly sky pirates, heroic dragon riders, and Eadlings. At first, Oliver thought it was just a neat coincidence. One of the characters, an orphan boy named Elvery, had a small feathered dragon he called Edie. As the book progressed, the similarities between Elvery's Edie and Oliver's Eadling grew, even to the point where her call was described as sounding like an Eed, Eed, Eed. Then he had come to an illustration of Elvery and Edie. A thrill of excitement and fear had coursed up his spine as he peered at the impossible image. Although older and dressed in the clothes of the Skykin, the boy looked incredibly similar to Oliver. Edie, on the other hand, looked exactly the same as one of Oliver's Eadlings, right down to the tiniest detail.
Wait, so he drew these creatures, or he had visions of them, and then they happened to be in the book that he read years later, and the character looks like him, and is also an orphan?
The image had scared him, confused him, and at the same time given him hope.
Suspicious.
Was this just some incredibly bizarre coincidence? Or had the great Arthur Weirdwood somehow seen what he'd seen and heard what he'd heard?
Maybe he has a crystal ball.
For the first time in his life, Oliver had dared to hope that he might not be alone. For the first time, he was able to believe that there just might be answers. Then he saw it. Beneath the mounted Eadling was a large leather-bound book with the words, "The Discovery of Eadlings," etched on the cover. Oliver's eyes lit up.
Alright, what's the secret? Magnifying glass? You found a dwarven lock. A very tiny plaque says Grand Team Total Tome Encasement. There's a tiny plaque. Okay, Truin Guildhammer and Sons, authentic dwarven gear, lock works, and locksmithery. Wonder what that's about. Who calls their company dwarven? Maybe they're dwarves. Cool logo though, very old-timey. Good day, Thrun Guildenhammer. Alright then.
"Answers," he whispered.
Can you open it?
But the book was encased in thick glass that seemed to be locked by some sort of mechanical device. Oliver heard Miss Brimley calling after him. He didn't have much time.
I'm sure you can ask Mr. Weirwood about it later.
There was a familiar symbol set into the middle of the case, a rune that Oliver recognized from illustrations in Arrow of the Skykin. He touched it, and with a mechanical whir, other runes began to slide out and click into place all around the cabinet.
Ooh,
Amazing, Oliver said. He recognized these runes too.
really?
He didn't remember what each meant, but he had pored over the book many times and had made copies of anything he thought could help him find out more about Eadlings, including the rune wheel of the Skykin.
Okay, that was in the little journal I read. There's a lot of cool stuff on this bookshelf.
He whipped out his sketchbook and found the page. He smiled.
Oh yeah. Move each rune to a fitting home and you'll unlock the Eadling's Tome. Okay. How do I know where it goes? Does this help me? Open, grow, remember, fly, close, crawl, forget, decay. The rune wheel from Arrow. Skykin, the key to unlocking the great mystery. Picture your remembrance through the lens of time. Oh jeez, I don't know. Am I supposed to trade spots with each other? Am I supposed to be in order? Forget. This one's decay. Stuck. The finding is here to help you. Okay. Each object has its matching rune. A spider crawls, a flower blooms. Runes are hard to understand, that's why the journal is in your hand. Okay, so it does have to do with their meaning. Oh, got it. So that's the flower, so that should be the grow one. Let's move the grow symbol to the flower. Okay, it seemed to like that. Oh, there's the spider. Okay, the spider crawls. So crawl is this one that kind of looks like a spider. What do butterflies do? Fly, obviously. Okay, so that one goes to the butterfly. Ooh, but it didn't glow. I mean, it's gone. What does a hand do? forget decay. So the hand decays. That one's right. Ooh, and that one was right too. What was that one? Open? A glass opens? Sure. What is that? Is that a picture? A picture remembers. Which one's remember? This. It's got little hands coming up and little things going down. Oh, okay, so I just mixed up which one was which. That one's fly, it looks similar. Cool, so now it opens. Oh, nice. We got the book. Now what?
Oliver picked up the book with trembling hands. He opened it up to somewhere in the middle and landed on a page entitled The Orphan's Pets. He was just about to start reading when a stiff metal hand clamped down on the book and pulled it firmly from Oliver's grasp.
Come on, I figured out the puzzle. I get to read it.
There will be plenty of opportunity to explore the mansion
Looks
later,
angry.
Master Oliver.
Tinsworth's voice was stern as he placed the book back in its holder and relocked the cabinet.
Whoa, what if the reason that wall that came up earlier to block me was because of Tinsworth? Maybe he was actually trying to kill me. Or maybe it came up because it saw him and he's no longer safe. Maybe he's been hacked into and he's no longer a good robot.
And I would ask that you please refrain from breaking into locked cabinets during your stay.
I did not break into anything. I found the code using logic.
Oliver's cheeks flushed. Sorry, I didn't mean to break into anything. It's just that...
You shouldn't tell him. He's not very trustworthy. What is it, fairy? Some secrets are covered in dust. Tap a few more times. Keep going. One more should do. The skull of Crolamer Crew. Behold, 'tis the sun-bleached skull of a were-gull pirate. What? Supposedly the skull of this Chronoma Crew, the first mate of the Sidonis Bloodbringer, were the ghoul pirate lord from Arrow of the Skyclan. The pirates, given promises of power from the evil Shadow Mind, did everything they could to prevent Elvery and his band of heroes from completing their mission. It was a close thing too, but near the end, when it all seemed to be lost, Crolamer had the courage to stand up to his own captain, sacrificing his own life so that Elvery and the others could escape and go on to save the world from the Shadow Mist. Okay.
No need to explain, Master Oliver. Youthful curiosity has been known to, on occasion, cloud one's better judgment.
Tinsworth gave him a dismissive look.
Now, if you will follow me...
Brimley shot
Wait,
Oliver an
what did he say
apologetic
now?
smile as Tinsworth turned to...
Ooh, another letter. With ponies! Oh my gosh, I love ponies! Unicorn ponies. Dear Arthur, I ran into another pack of unicorns today. There were 5 altogether, led by an enormous yellow mare named Princess Lovesparkle. Princess Lovesparkle, really? What is this, My Little Pony? I didn't catch wind of them until they were literally on top of me. A little pink one named Poopsie Pie lanced my shoulder with her horn, while her friend Flapjack tore at my leg with her sharp teeth. These are the same as the My Little Ponies. They're practically the same names. I managed to subdue them eventually, but we ended up destroying an entire quarter-gate of books in the process. I got Poopsie Pie, Flapjack, and Mr. Huggy McBumblebum harnessed, but Love Sparkle and her Prince Brownie Pants were able to slip away in the confusion. Anyway, District B is secure for now. Brunhild. That's interesting. Unicorns
Either
are
way.
dangerous, I guess. Okay, so we found 6 of 52 secrets, and we've completed 2 of 7 puzzles. We found some interesting mysteries, and now we have to figure out why is this robot so untrustworthy of us, and he's not a very fun dude. What's his deal? Is he a villain or just annoying? And then why are all of the creatures that Oliver sees showing up around this manor? And why was he chosen to come to this manor if he doesn't think his art's really that great? So, it's very curious. And we're going to continue this story another day to figure out the rest of the mission, the rest of the mysteries. We're going to end our stream now because I'm going to hang out with my husband. He's going to make me some cookies. He's going to make me some cookies. So, thanks for tuning in to the stream, guys, and we'll see you later. Bye!